Hey friends, so would you believe that today we're doing something that we rarely do? Today we're just gonna sit porch style. I know normally I'm canning, gardening, running around, finding the bargains or on a new adventure, but not today. Today it's just me, my dad, and some good old southern humidity having a moment on the porch. And I wanted to share this moment because if you go back far enough, all of us have agricultural roots. But what happens when your family steps away from that lifestyle for just a generation or two? Does it disappear? Well, lucky for me, the answer has always been no, because of my dad. And while my brother and I didn't grow up on a farm, my dad did. And he's the reason I ever had a language for things like pot liquor or hot water cornbread, pole beans, compost, elbow grease, because he's kept our family stories alive, little by little, season after season. And along the way, those stories started to feel like a calling. And so becoming a farm girl isn't a brand, it's a homecoming. And it's the people that I want to meet. So in this video, I want to introduce you to the man who quietly planted those seeds, my dad. So my dad has had two careers, but his first one, he retired as a senior master Air Force sergeant. He's originally from the South, but he met my mom when he was stationed at Camp David in Maryland. And so my mom's a Northern girl, originally from the Eastern Shore, and they met at church because of course they did. Now you have seen him pop up in videos before, but in this video you get to hear more of his voice. So pull up a chair, grab yourself something cold, or just listen to this while you're folding the laundry. You're in for an excellent porch chat. All right, Dad, you ready for this? Your exclusive YouTube debut. You've been featured and highlighted, but this is all about you.
I don't know about that.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. All right, Dad, so tell everyone where you're from and what kind of kid you were growing up.
Well, I'm from a city on the Red River there in Louisiana called Shreveport. That's where I was born and raised, went to school and everything else. As a kid, um, back in the 60s and the early 70s, I liked to play street tag football in the middle of the street, um, baseball, basketball and stuff, and any little sandlot that you could find and stuff, and put up a basketball goal. Um, had BB guns and things like that, so liked to go hunting, especially every blue moon when it would snow down there. Then you could actually track your rabbits and stuff like that a whole lot easier and stuff. But all in all, I think it was playing marbles.
Yes.
All in all, though, I think it's a pretty average, normal childhood for someone that was born before this present generation, when you walked out of the house at 7:30 in the morning and you didn't walk back into the house until 8 or 9 o'clock at night. You pretty much stayed outside playing with your friends all day.
Way back. What was one of your favorite meals that Grandma or Big Mama would cook?
Well, for breakfast, I would say my favorite meal has always been homemade buttermilk biscuits with eggs and country bacon. You can't beat that. If you want to throw on some grits with some bacon grease on the grits and stuff, you can even do that. For dinner, if you're from Louisiana, other than maybe Nolans, red beans and rice. Yeah, red beans and rice. It's hard to find some good red beans and rice these days, but if you do, red beans and rice. Stick to your ribs.
All right, that's so while you lived more in like suburbia with your parents, Big Mama actually lived out in the country. And so this is where I have heard so many stories growing up of your farm life, essentially. And so what do you remember most about Big Mama's farm?
I don't know whether it's called Allendale, my neighborhood here in Shreveport, suburbia. But mostly when I remember right down at Big Mama's and stuff, we did have our 40 acres, didn't have a mule. It's still there today. It is still, every single acre of it is still in the family. Several of my cousins who have since then built homes on the land, but we still own all the land. But what I remember is during the summertime, of course, real young, helping Big Daddy with his. He did have a mule, but I don't. But he didn't own that mule. And plowing the field, which I could barely do, and stuff, and get him upset more than anything. He gets so frustrated. He tells me to go in the house somewhere. Helping him to plow it. But then around August, September, going out there and getting fresh peas and watermelons and corn and all of those things. And then Big Mama, of course, cooking dinner with it. They would slaughter a hog or one of the cows and having that good old meat and fresh vegetables and stuff that you just don't get today with this processed stuff that they got out there now. It's processed stuff today. Now, I mean, when I was growing up, I didn't put salt and sugar and stuff like that on my food because it was already good. I didn't start those bad habits until years later when I started eating all this commercial stuff, and because there was no taste and flavor to it, started adding stuff, trying to rediscover those flavors and stuff. And you just can't do that when something is processed and washed and rewashed and then artificial stuff added to it. Remember getting up in the mornings and feeding the cows and milking the cows and feeding the calves as well, lots of calves and chickens in the afternoon and evening, sopping the hogs. And then after that, which is most of the time, being a boy in the country with all my cousins. My grandmother had close to 80 something grandkids. A lot of them would come down there and running through those 40 acres, just having fun, playing cowboys and Indians and stuff. Some of the stuff that I didn't quite like was they did not have indoor plumbing. Indoor plumbing had not made it way down that side of or down the road down there yet. So having to get up in the middle of the night for the outhouse or having to walk and back easily a quarter mile down to the well house to get water and stuff. That's part that I didn't like. I look forward to getting back to Shreveport when it came to that type of stuff. But all in all, though, good memories, really good memories.
So tell me a little bit more about the Smokehouse. Like, how did it actually work? We've seen like the larger ones on bigger estates, but like
the same way. Okay. Same way. Like I said, every year they would slaughter, some chickens. They would kill a hog and also one of the cows. And after you get all the meat and stuff, you then basically it's almost like having this big barbecue thing, almost, where you would just put the salt and stuff on it, let the salt get into the meat to cure it and to process it and to kill the bacteria, and then put it into the smokehouse and lightly smoke it to preserve the meat. So therefore, a cow that you slaughtered in August, September, you would still be able to eat off of that meat, for off up into the winter time, because again, not having some of the amenities of today, like a freezer. Now everyone has a freezer, so if you go and slaughter something, you just cut it up and freeze it. But back there, since people did not have freezers, they actually would preserve it using salt and then put it into the smokehouse and long-term preserve it, keeping it at a low, reasonable temperature and stuff, and all of that, preserve your meat so that you then could have meat for the entire year. So it was pretty good. So some good eating. Yeah, really good eating. Really good eating.
So you really kind of painted this picture of uh, a well-lived life and nutrient-dense, delicious meals compared to, yes, we have more amenities now, but we kind of lost something with modernity. And so, what is one piece of advice that you would give people that are trying to live a simpler,
Mm.
more sufficient life?
Um, Try to do it with less. Because anyone, even today, if you go to the grocery store and you get peaches, you get corn, you get green beans, and all of those kind of things from the grocery store, from the veggie aisle. And then you're going down the road, which is so unfortunate if you live in a large city, suburbia, and places like that. It's not there. I mean, even there in Shreveport, we had about a quarter of an acre where mom would have collard greens, tomatoes, okra, those type of things. Had a fig tree, big old fig tree, and a pear tree in the backyard, and big blackberry patches and stuff. And we would go and pick stuff. If you ever taste the difference between what you can get from your local supermarket and what you can get from one of these farmers that's got their food stand on the side of the road, you will notice the difference. The food is much more crispy, it's crunchy, it has flavor, it has texture, it has all of those things that when you are mass producing food and you're trying to preserve that food, because now what it is, think about it. Think about it. Everyone thinks that all the fruit that you get comes from California or Florida. If you really look at some of them packages, this food is coming from South America.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
food's got to be picked and then all this other stuff and then sent all the way up here, what do you think happens to that food versus a farmer who picks the fruit, the vegetables that he's selling on his food stand, and you're eating that food easily within a few days at the most of when he actually picked it. It's much fresher. It does not have all of these pesticides and preservatives that the other foods and stuff out there that you get, because that's again, it's a lot of artificiality. And when they say something is fresh, it's fresh, yeah, compared to being spoiled. But is it really
Yeah.
fresh? Fresh fruit to me is something that if I ask you if your fruit is fresh, I really don't want to hear you telling me that you picked it a week ago. That's not fresh. That's not fresh. That's preserved. That's all that is. So so if you want to do something today, I would just say just keep it simple. Don't use a lot of pesticides and stuff like that. Um, if you're going to grow the stuff, maybe look at using real manure. With all the cows we had and stuff down at Big Mama's, we would go down there with the shovels and stuff, and we would pick up all the cow chips and stuff in a wheelbarrow and stuff, and there was one section of the corral there where all the stuff was. We would pile up all the manure and stuff in there, and then when planting time came and stuff, all of that stuff was then thrown into the spreader and stuff, and that was our fertilizer. You didn't go to Home Depot and get fertilizer. It was the cow manure, the pig stuff, the chicken stuff. There was all of that stuff there that you had collected over the fall and winter and stuff. So try to do it with as few preservatives and things as you can. Taste the difference, and if you can then afford to do it and have the time, you probably won't want to go back if you can help it to getting some of your things from a store. The sugar, yeah, you may have to get that from a store. But anything else, you I've made butter, homemade butter, homemade buttermilk. I've done all of that. Homemade cream, ice cream, uh, ice cream. That's good stuff. Make your own ice cream. That's good stuff.
So it's actually one thing that I talk about with cooking and meals and these tastes is that we share that love of cooking and really good food and taste. And it's been me trying
Well,
to varying
I don't
degrees
like
of
cooking.
success.
I don't like cooking. I like eating good food.
Okay, yes.
I like eating good food. The cooking part, no.
But you
like
could do it. But you know exactly. You know what, Dad? You were in the kitchen with me. What I'm trying to get to is that the way that you have described these tastes all of my life as I've been trying to recreate, and I will not get there because like that's the epitome, right? Like grandma's cooking, big mama's cooking. But I'm trying to do a fair effort, Dad.
No,
Right?
yeah, no. You compared to some other people and stuff, your meals are definitely better.
Okay.
And that's going to be the case for anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone who tries natural cooking, they're going to find out that their meals compared to someone else is going to be better. It's kind of along the same thing as they say that at the end of the day, everything tastes like chicken. Why does everything taste like chicken? Maybe it's because the preservatives and other things that you put in your stuff is all the same. So it ends up being just bland food and stuff. So yeah, you can instead of just everybody just using straight up table salt, like using all the other herbs and stuff that are out there, and these herbs will make you have high blood pressure and everything and stuff, So it's just the way that back there people made their food and everything, When you move from the country and you then move into the city, you don't have the room and stuff to be doing all this gardening and grow your stuff. So you end up being forced pretty much to have to buy mass consume, mass produce stuff.
So, Dad, that is an excellent segue into my next question, which is you authentically being like raised, on a farm and having access to farm life. What do you think of what I'm doing now and the process? You have seen me become a farm girl in the capacity that I'm at right now, and then
I've always only asked my children two things. I've always said, hey, try your best. And then, so I would ask you, did you try your best? And then I would always ask, are you happy? And so the thing of it is you're happy with what you're doing. It brings you get more, again, it's just like that simpler life with the food. You get more joy out of doing, becoming a farm girl than you do out of your professional career. But at the end of the day, is that important? No. What's important is if I ask the question, are you happy? You're happy in becoming a farm girl, and you're happy in preparing the meals, and you're happy in your ability to make meals that help your parents have better health and your husband to have better health. And even the little Frenchie boy to have better health, because now instead of see, guys, even for a dog, store-bought versus homemade has been tremendous with Thor. He's a Frenchie and they have all kind of issues. And his health is so much better now that she's making his meals at home.
Hey y'all, so I just wanted to pop in to reiterate something that I have always shared on my channel. I have no intent to quit my professional job. Yes, like work is work. That's the mindset that I was raised with. And so, yes, like my parents are the ones that if I'm having frustrations about anything, they're going to hear that. They also hear, the joys of my job. And YouTube for me is something that is also what I enjoy. And I've always talked about wanting to keep it. Sorry, my air conditioning's here. But I always want to keep YouTube within that outlet that's different from my job and not make it, a job, because then it has its own stressors. And so, yes, I am going to continue to work and to do YouTube as a hobby that really is That really is my joy.
So, yeah, it's just all about one simple thing, and that is, are you happy? And the answer to that is she's definitely happy. And she's darn good at it. I've been to a few of her conferences and met people who've utilized some of the things she's done. And she's not only helping her family, but she's helping out other people. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing itself. So again, she's doing something that she enjoys. And if you can do something that you enjoy, well, to me, that's what life is all about. Doing that which you enjoy, and she enjoys this.
Absolutely, Dad. All right, we're going to go ahead and end things with a rapid fire round. I'm going to give you, it's just a quick answer.
Okay.
So just really quick answers. Okay, grits or hash browns?
Grits.
Sweet tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Favorite MRE? Heralding back to your military days.
My God, favorite MRE. I like the peanut butter. Peanut butter and crackers.
Okay, all right. What is one tool you can't live without?
A hammer.
Okay. What trait do I have that most resembles you in a positive way?
I would say stubborn.
Yes, that's a compliment.
No, determined, not afraid of it, not afraid of failure. Yeah, not afraid to try and fail.
You told me that, Dad. Yeah.
Not afraid to try and fail.
Yeah. All right, and then your worst chore on the farm.
First chore in the farm was shoveling that manure. That's the
Yeah.
That's the clean way of putting it.
Okay.
I didn't like that. I mean, you're not gonna like it, especially. Oof, no.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and then lastly, Dad. So you actually have had two successful careers. You're now retired, but your first career was 20 years in the military. You were in the Air Force and retired as a senior master sergeant. And so, what would be any advice that you have today for young people that want to serve?
Do it. Do it. Understand that in the military there's a purpose for the military, but at the same time there is also a lot of benefits that you learn, life lessons that you can also learn. Service before self. You will discover very quickly who you are and what you're capable of. I was a 17-year-old kid when I went in. And within, I would say, 6 months, my opinion of who I was, what I was capable of doing, and my future had probably done a 180. I knew I had some self-worth. I knew that I could do things. I knew I could be successful. And service before self and just service, there's just a lot to be learned of that. And it's not just the military. I would encourage young people, find some way, if not within the military, there's anything, to be of service to someone else other than serving to ultimately get yourself a BMW or a Maserati or to have a 5,000 square foot home. That's what I learned more than anything. Sacrifice, service to others before self, and a sense of duty, honor, integrity. Those are life lessons that the military will teach you and will help you your entire life. Your entire life, it will definitely make you a better person.
Fantastic, Dad. Actually, one more thing. This is the end for real. So it has been 1 year almost to the date since you have had your green stalk garden.
Yeah.
And so, thoughts, reflections, how's it going? I mean, this looks gorgeous,
I
Dad.
definitely enjoy this. Initially, I had wanted it because of this down here, which is the lemongrass and mosquito stuff to keep away the no-see-ums and all the bugs. Here in Florida, as I said, and I like to sit on my lanai and barbecue and look out over the backyard and stuff, and enjoy the view and stuff back here. And I couldn't because of all the bugs. But now with this, it not only have rid me of the bugs on my lanai. Oh, lanai is what you call a patio. Down here in Florida, they call all kind of things really strange names. I don't really understand. To me, this is a patio.
Right, exactly.
But it's a lanai is what we call it. And also being able to enjoy just the flowers. This is, again, early on here, but the final product of what this is going to be within the next 3 weeks, it's just going to be just flowers forever all the way up. And then again, I got my lemongrass and mosquito grass down lower. So no bed of bugs, absolutely beautiful. And also
aromatic. It just smells
I'm getting up in age and everything. So when it comes time for me to fertilize it, come time for me to water it and do all of those things, there is minimal bending and things like that that you have to do with these here, and you can move it around pretty much anywhere you want it and everything. So no, it's definitely something that I'm going to continue to do and something that I'm going to continue to utilize and stuff. Maybe even try a 2 or 3 high, one a little lower, and have even some more decoration and stuff around just for when you come outside and enjoy yourself. I like flower beds and stuff like that. You have to check out my front yard.
Yeah, no, it does.
So, but yeah, I love that, and now I can also enjoy my lanai and have some beauty here as well as some functionality and stuff with it as well. So it was definitely a good move. Good move.
Now, I do want to share how you hacked your green stalk, Dad, in terms of, again, having it be extremely low maintenance. But you actually had, so behind my dad, I'll insert some footage later, share with them the awesome idea that you came up with.
Oh,
this is awesome.
So, as you know, it's 90-some degrees every day here in Florida. And with this sun, it just sucks the moisture out of the ground. The local nursery here is actually saying, big old sign there, for you to water your plants twice a day because of that. So what I came up with is I got a 55-gallon tub, just a plastic bin that I had and I wasn't using. And I found on Amazon a little tube thing here with a pump and a timer on it. And I fill once a week, I will fill up or check the water level. And based off of how my plant is doing, I will then set my timer for how long I want it to water. And that's one of the great things, again, about the green stalk, is that you fill up the top bin up here with water, and then it cascades all the way down to the bottom. And any excess water then drains out and out into the yard. So by doing that, I'm able to enjoy the green stalk, again, with very low maintenance. I am not pulling the water hose out to water my green stalk, every day. The 55-gallon thing that I have lasts approximately a week and a half to 2 weeks. So every week and a half to 2 weeks, I get the water hose, I refill it. Outside of that, enjoy. So standing and spraying your green stalk and all that kind of stuff, not something that I have to do. Not something that I have to do. And my lanai is enclosed, it's screened in. If it wasn't screened in, I would probably then just have one of my sprinklers. So then here in Florida, you need to have sprinkler systems in your yard. I would actually have one of my sprinklers. I would install a sprinkler over the top of it and then just do it. But there are so many things that you can do that with the green stalk that makes it so much easier to enjoy it. And so that it's one of those things where you do the work up front in the spring, and for the rest of the year, which here in Florida means that I'm going to have these flowers I'm going to have these flowers probably till January. I'm going to be enjoying this easily all the way up until January. Uh, and some of them will even be here even past that. So it's fantastic. So yeah, so try it out. It's a great idea to save you some time and let you enjoy your green stalk and won't feel so much like work.
All right, Dad. Well, we are going to get in because it is so hot and humid out here,
Yes,
y'all.
so,
And we
yeah.
have things to do later on today. You will see that featured in some of the other videos that I'm posting around this time. But I just thought that it would be nice to have Dad just sit and chat, and for our farm girl community just to get to know you a little bit more. So thank you, Dad, for visiting the channel. Bye, guys. I'll see you in my kitchen or garden soon. Take care. Now, you have seen him pop up in videos before, but in this video, you get to hear more of his voice. So pull up a chair, so grab something cold, pull up a chair, or just so pull up a chair. So pull up a chair, grab yourself a glass of something cold, or listen to this while you're doing the laundry. So pull up a chair, grab yourself something cold, or just listen to this while you're doing the laundry. You're in for a good porch chat. So pull up a chair, grab yourself something cold. So pull up a chair, grab yourself something cold. Oh, that breeze feels amazing. So pull up a chair, grab yourself something cold, or just listen to this while you're folding the laundry. You're in for an excellent porch chat.